Hello, my name is Rich Chiazza. I live in New Jersey. Today, I'd like to share with you my personal experience as a patient and having to deal with a dentist who is reusing needles and syringes in his practice. A little bit of background about myself before that day. I had worked for one of the largest needle and syringe manufacturers as a product design engineer for more than 23 years, largely devoted to healthcare worker safety, designing products to prevent needle stick injuries, as well as designing needles and syringes that could not be reused for the developing markets, where the problem is well recognized and documented and is causing a major health problem in those countries. I had traveled around the world to many places like China, Africa, India, and South America to get valuable first-hand experience on the reuse issue. While traveling to these places, I met with many government healthcare officials as well as doctors and nurses to understand exactly how and why syringes were being reused. Now back to the day I visited the dental office. I arrived and waited a short time in the waiting room. Then I was escorted into one of the patient's rooms. On my way to that room, I noticed a small table in the corridor, and on that table there were several syringes taken apart with the needles laid out on a cloth, which raised a red flag to me. Once I sat down in the chair, I asked the dental assistant about those syringes I seen in the hall, and she told me that they were there drying off because they had just got done cleaning them so they could reuse them again on the patient. As you could imagine, I was shocked. I told her that these were single-use devices, and once used, they should be disposed of properly. And with that, I explained how dangerous it was to reuse syringes, and not only puts her patients at risk, but also herself by handling contaminated syringes. I asked to speak to the doctor, but he was too busy. So I told her to tell the doctor that I was shocked that he was permitting this type of behavior in his office, and then I immediately walked out. Once I arrived home, I contacted the local health department and reported the incident. They asked me to contact the State Board of Dentistry, which I did promptly. A few months later, I received a letter from the State Board saying that they had finished their investigation and conducted a visit, and there was no violations at that time, so the matter was closed. This incident was quite disappointing to me, but it's motivated me more than ever to educate as many people as I can to the fact that reusing needles and syringes does in fact happen here in the US. So please join me in getting the message out that reusing needles and syringes puts everyone at risk of contracting deadly diseases, and the practice must stop today. Thank you.